What would you do if the world said you were too weak to survive? In Oyo State, Nigeria, one barefoot widow picked up a broken sewing machine and stitched a future that changed generations. They called her a failure. Her in-laws tried to take her children. Hunger tried to silence her. But what Mama Grace did in secret is now echoing across Africa. This is not just a story of survival. It's the story of how one mother's sacrifice rewrote destiny. If you're just tuning into this channel, please subscribe and give this story a thumbs up. A dusty village road in Oyo State. The evening sun paints the earth gold. Chickens scatter as a barefoot woman, Mama Grace, walks briskly, carrying a basket of cassava. In her heart, a secret that will echo through generations. She was born into silence. Not the silence of peace, but the silence of being unseen, unheard. Grace Adeyemi, widowed at 32, mother of 3. Armed with nothing but a broken sewing machine and an iron will. Grace's husband Kunle dies in a freak accident, electrocuted while fixing a neighbor's faulty generator. The shock rattles the entire village. Grace is left with 3 children. No savings, debts on the farm, and whispers from neighbors. She won't last. How will she feed those children? Worse, her in-laws gather at night, plotting to take her children, branding her unfit. Grace overhears them. That night, she hides her children in the bush. She stands guard with nothing but a rusty machete and a trembling prayer. Her youngest son, Tundi, whispers, "Mama, are we going to war?" Grace grips his hand. "No, my son. We are going to win." Desperation becomes fuel. Grace pawns her wedding ring to buy scraps of fabric. By candlelight, she repairs torn clothes. Slowly, the village notices. She walks 10 kilometers daily to deliver orders, sewing by night while her kids sleep. Hunger gnaws, but she hides her empty plate, telling her children, "Mama already ate." Her eldest, Bola, earns a scholarship to Lagos, but transport money is impossible. Grace devises a plan. She fakes a job interview in Lagos just to hitch a ride with a church member, with humor masking her pain. She tells the driver, "Sir, don't worry if the interview is long. The job is already mine," in faith. One day, Grace gathers other widows. She shares needles, teaches stitches, and forms a sewing cooperative. They name themselves the Thread Sisters. Their motto, "We stitch, we survive." Together, they sew uniforms for schools, dresses for brides, even burial clothes. With each stitch, their dignity returns. But then, Grace collapses at her sewing table. Diagnosis, late-stage cervical cancer. She tells no one. At night, she writes in her secret journal. Every sacrifice recorded like scripture. Nights, she starved so her children could eat. Days she walked barefoot to save shoe money. Times she sold her blood to pay school fees. Bola becomes a doctor. Tunde, the boy who asked about war, becomes a lawyer. Ada, the youngest, becomes a tech entrepreneur. They think scholarships and luck carried them. Until one day, Bola discovers the journal under a mattress. Shock, tears, anger. They confront their frail mother. "Mama, why didn't you tell us?" Grace smiles weakly, her voice soft, yet unbreakable. "Because I didn't raise children. I raised warriors." Moments later, she breathes her last. At her funeral, the village gathers. But then, a stranger arrives, a woman from Kenya. She steps forward and declares, "Because of Mama Grace's sewing cooperative, I started one in Nairobi. Today, there are 300 Thread Sister chapters across Africa." Tears. All. Mama Grace's story had spread beyond borders. Bola stands tall. Her voice trembles, but her words roar. "My mother never went to school, but she taught us everything. Her sacrifice didn't just change our lives, it changed the continent." They called her weak. They said she wouldn't last. But Mama Grace became the thread that rewrote destiny. This is not just a story, it's a call to honor the silent warriors, the mothers who give everything. Support a mother. Change a generation. If you're inspired by this story, click on subscribe, like, and comment.